Episode 4. Think in English. Hello, everyone. Today, let's talk about something very important when learning English. Thinking in English. Yes, this is a skill you can develop, and it's a big step toward speaking fluently. When you think in English, you stop translating from your first language in your head. Instead, your thoughts start to form directly in English. This helps you speak more naturally and quickly. You won't have to pause to find the right words, and you'll understand conversations better because you're already thinking in the language. The best part? It makes you feel more confident when you speak because you're not relying on translations. But how can you start thinking in English? Let me explain it in a simple way that everyone can understand. Thinking in English may sound hard at first, but it's not impossible. You can start with small, everyday things. For example, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you see? Is it your clock? Maybe your window? In your mind, say things like, "The clock says 7 a.m." or "The sun is shining outside the window." Try not to translate these thoughts from your first language. Instead, think of them directly in English. It might feel a little strange at first, and that's okay. Feeling a bit uncomfortable means you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and that's how we grow. The more you practice, the easier it will become. Another great way to practice thinking in English is when you're walking somewhere. Maybe you're going to a shop. In your mind, say something like, "I need to buy milk and bread." Or, if you see something outside, describe it. You could think, "The sky is blue and the birds are singing." It's about making English a part of your everyday life. You don't need to wait for special practice time. Use moments like these to think in English. The more you do it, the more natural it will feel. And before you know it, you'll be thinking in English without even trying. You don't need big or fancy words to think in English. Simple words are enough to start with. If you don't know a word, don't worry about it. Just use the words you already know. For example, if you don't know how to say laundry basket, just think, "The place where I put my clothes." It's okay to describe things in your own way. Over time, you will learn new words, and your ability to think in English will grow stronger. Keep practicing, and your vocabulary will expand naturally. Talking to yourself is also a great way to practice. Don't feel shy. You don't need anyone else for this. You can be your own audience. For example, when you're cooking, say things like, "I am chopping onions," "The water is boiling," or "I need to add salt." It's like practicing speaking, but quietly, in your own head. This way, you start to hear English in your mind, and it helps you think faster and more naturally. The more you do it, the easier it will become to think in English during everyday activities. If you love music, try singing your favorite English songs. Don't just sing the words, think about what they mean. Imagine the story behind the song and what the singer is trying to express. If you enjoy movies, try watching scenes and pretending you are one of the characters. You can say the lines with them. This makes learning fun and helps you practice speaking in a natural way. When you enjoy what you're doing, learning becomes easier and faster. So make it fun, and you'll improve without even realizing it. Reading is another great way to help you think in English. Start with something simple, like a short story or a children's book. As you read, try to imagine the scenes in your head in English. Picture the characters, the actions, and the feelings they are experiencing. This helps you practice visualizing in English, not just hearing it. The more you do this, the easier it will be to think in English, and you'll start to feel more comfortable with the language. Reading in this way makes learning fun and engaging. One thing I want you to remember is this: you will make mistakes, and that's completely normal. For example, you might think, I need to go to the post box, but later you learn the correct term is mailbox. That's perfectly fine. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn and improve. So don't be afraid to try every day. Each mistake brings you one step closer to mastering English. Keep practicing, and you'll become more capable and confident with time. Another simple trick is to label items around you in English. If you're in your room, you can say things like, "This is my chair," or "This is my lamp." By connecting words to real-life objects, your brain will start to work faster in English. Try speaking these sentences aloud if you can. The more you practice, the easier it will become to think and speak in English naturally. This method helps you remember words and their meanings more quickly. When you think in English, don't rush. Take your time and speak clearly to your mind. Short sentences are perfectly fine. For example, instead of thinking, I have to finish my assignment before the afternoon, you can think, I must finish it by 12. Both ways are correct and helpful. As you practice, your thoughts in English will gradually become more natural and grow along with your language skills. The key is to keep it simple and consistent. Over time, you'll notice your thinking in English becoming easier and more fluid. Sometimes, start small conversations with yourself. For example, pretend you're asking yourself a question and answering it. You could think, what should I wear today? And then answer, maybe I'll wear my blue shirt. It may feel a little silly at first, but this habit is very powerful. It strengthens not only your thinking in English, but also your speaking skills. The more you practice this, the more natural it will feel, and soon you'll find yourself thinking and speaking in English with ease. Also, remember that listening is a big part of learning to think in English. When you hear English being spoken, you pick up new phrases, words, and ideas. It's okay if you don't understand everything at first. Just focus on small bits. The more you listen, the clearer it will become. Over time, you'll start to recognize patterns, and your ability to think in English will improve. Keep listening to English every day, and you'll see progress. When you're stuck on how to think of something in English, just imagine you're explaining it to a friend. Use simple words and pretend your friend only knows easy English. You'll find that this helps you think more clearly. For example, instead of saying, I ate a delicious homemade Italian pasta, you could say, I ate nice noodles cooked at home. Clear and easy thoughts are always better than not knowing what to say at all. Remember, the goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. Keep it simple, and you'll get better with time. When you're stuck on how to think of something in English, imagine you're explaining it to a friend. Use simple words and pretend your friend only knows easy English. This can help you express yourself more clearly. For example, instead of saying, I ate a delicious homemade Italian pasta, you could say, I ate nice noodles cooked at home. Clear and easy thoughts are always better than no thoughts at all. The key is to keep it simple and focus on communicating your message, even if you don't have the perfect words. The more you practice, the easier it will get. Day by day, you will start to notice changes. At first, you might only think of 1 or 2 ideas in English. Then it will turn into 3, then 4. And before you know it, you'll be having full conversations in your mind. The more you focus on thinking in English, the faster you'll improve. Patience is key. Don't rush the process. Consistent practice every day will make a big difference over time. Keep going, and you'll see the progress. Another useful tip is to write down your thoughts in English. It doesn't have to be long or perfect, just simple sentences. For example, you might write, "Today is sunny. I feel happy. I will go outside later." Writing helps you shape your thoughts in English and makes it easier to organize them. The more you write, the more natural it will feel, and soon you'll find that your thoughts in English flow more easily. Keep writing every day, and you'll see improvement. One of the best ways to grow your ability to think in English is to enjoy the learning process. Laugh when you make mistakes because they are part of the journey. Be curious about new words and celebrate every small win. Maybe today you think of 1 sentence in English. That's a win. Maybe tomorrow you think of 2 sentences. That's progress. Keep these wins in your heart because they will keep you motivated and moving forward. The key is to enjoy the process and appreciate how far you've come. Keep going. Remember, thinking in English is not about being perfect. It's about making English a part of your life. Like learning any new skill, practice and commitment are what truly make a difference. Every time you think in English, you're building a strong foundation for fluency. You're getting closer to speaking confidently and naturally. Keep going, and don't rush the process. The more you practice patience, the calmer and more comfortable you'll feel with your English skills. Keep at it, and the progress will come. Take it step by step. Keep your mind active in English every day. Celebrate your small victories along the way because each one brings you closer to your goal. Trust yourself and keep practicing. As the saying goes, practice makes progress. You are capable, and you're on your way to becoming great at English. Keep learning, stay patient, and enjoy the journey. Every effort counts.